Today, I'm happy to introduce our provocateur, Bedriye, who's coming all the way from Turkey, and is here to basically share about well-being, um, the well-being of leaders. Excuse me. Bedriye has a successful track record as a serial entrepreneur, very focused in uplifting women, even inspired the first Fitbit Center in Turkey back in 2006, which is a women's only gym. So she's very progressive, very passionate in the roles that she does, and loves to kind of share her talents and joys with the rest of the world. So we're definitely thankful and happy to have a leader such as her share her perspective today. So with that, without further ado, I'll pass it over to Bethany, and I'll let her share her piece today.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Thanks a lot. And thank you everyone for coming here. And I would like to share my slides if possible. May I do that?
Yes.
Okay. Successful in sharing it?
Yep, we can see it.
Yes? Perfect. Okay, yeah, we will be talking about well-being today. And I will also need to hear your voices. And maybe if you don't want to talk, but maybe you can write in chat. And also, maybe you might need to use some pen and paper because we will be using some scales together, so we can look at ourselves. I will talk more about myself and the project that I'm also representing here. But first, I need to understand what is well-being for you.
Feel free to drop your answers in the chat, or if you'd like to, if you're brave and want to chime in, unmute yourself, but happy to hear your responses.
Anyone? The calmness of self through the storm. Balance between work and life. Oh, excellent. Work and life. Hopeful. Inner peace and joy. Feeling strong, energetic, and well physically. Karen, I like that. Peace of mind. Integration of body and mind. Holistic health. Spirit, mind, body. Sense of healthy vitality, connection with others, and satisfaction with life. For me, it is a balance of mental, physical, spiritual, and lifestyle. Being healthy in mind and body, being healthy and happy, well-being, comprehensive view, but it comes down to the sense of purpose and positive attitude. Happy, healthy, balance, calm, neutral, and open expectations, resilient. Hopeful, spelled correctly. Depth of authenticity, serving something greater, and supporting others on their journey. Daily opportunities to be of service. Oh, lovely. It's the ability to be happy and seeing others happy and well to do. Beautiful answers, beautiful responses. Thank you. And yes, actually, it's all of it. Excited by things to be done. That's nice. And when I started this well-being journey, I didn't know a thing about well-being. The only thing that I knew about was working, and sometimes going out with friends, cooking for my friends, doing things for others. And I was really not bothered about well-being. I was thinking that it wasn't important, that I wasn't important at all. But then I came to a point that I had to understand what well-being means. And before we go into any further, I would like to invite us to do a survey or a scale together. I'm going to put it on here and make it bigger, and you will need your pen and paper. And I'm going to make this big so you can see it, and I'll go down for you to see it. Oops. Can you see the questions?
Mhm.
Can one see?
Yep.
Yes.
We could see 14.
Yep.
We could see 14 of the
Okay,
questions.
14, but going to 23. So you will need to give a number after each question. 0 meaning not at all, to 10 completely if you agree. But sometimes it's not at all and completely, but never and always, like the second question. So you will need to read the response anchors and then write whatever you choose between 0 to 10 next to each other, next to the, like as if there's a third column there. So you can start whenever. And in a while, I'm going to pull it up so you can read the other ones. Somebody is writing next to it. How can you manage that? I'll go off it. Is there anyone who needs more time?
Like 2 minutes.
Okay.
And we should be adding the total at the end?
No, I will tell you how to do it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm presuming that we're all finished. And how we are going to do it is, as you can see, there are some letters below the column of label. And I would like you to add the same letters together. So you are going to have maybe 6, 7 groups, 7 or 8 groups. Like M is going to be M1, and then it's going to be M2, and then it's going to be M3. So that's, if you had 5 from each of them, it's going to be 15 for N, for example. So this is how you are going to do it. Let me do it smaller so you can maybe see all of them together.
Hey, Bedriye,
Yes?
do you mind re-explaining how to categorize the labels and adding up
Excuse me, I can't hear you.
instructions, please?
What did you say, Matthew?
Do you mind repeating the instructions, please, on how to add up?
Oh, sure. Okay. For example, there are the letters below the label column. You'll see these letters like M, A, E, H, P. You are going to add the numbers that you've given, the scores that you've given to each letter. What I mean is, like, there are 3 M's, M1, M2, M3. So you are going to add those 3. So it's going to be your M score. And then you are going to add your A's. And then you're going to add your E's. P has 3, E has 3, R has 3, M has 3, A has 3 questions. And then you are going to have a separate score for lonely, happy, and also N as in Nancy. Let's see. Yes, we have to do a little bit of math, not much. Very difficult to do in Zoom, meaning how can I help you with that? I'm wondering, is it that you can't see, or Charlie, may I be any help?
Charlie, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. No, I appreciate the extra help, but I've got MS and it's very challenging for me to look at a small print like that. So I'll catch up later with the handout. So,
Okay, all
okay,
right.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I'm sure we're finished. And let me explain you what this is and how you are going to calculate your scores and what it means. One second, there is one person. That. Thanks. Okay. This is the PERMA model. This is Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman is the professor who is actually like the father of positive psychology. And he selected these 5 components that people pursue because they are intrinsically motivating and they contribute to well-being. These are the positive emotion, which is your P's, engagement, your E's, relationships, your R's, meaning, your M's, and accomplishments, your A's. So when you look at your maths that you've done, the number that says P, the addition, if you divide it by 3, you are going to have the arithmetical, what was it, arithmetical ortalama. I don't know the English word.
Average.
Average, of course.
Or
Yes.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Yeah. And if your score is 9 or above, it means you are very high in this dimension. If 7 or 8, you are high. 6, slightly above average, slightly above average. 5 is average. 4, slightly below average. 2 or 3, low. 0 to 1, very low. So when you look at those, you might see where you need to work on for your own well-being. These are the components. And also there is N, which stands for negative emotion. So we want it to be less, not more. And also there was that, which was your happiness score, which was just one question. And then there was a 12th question, which was how lonely you are. These 3, again, you need to be looking, which is either helping or not helping that much for your well-being. So these are the areas that we should be aware of within ourselves if we want to help our own well-being. Positive emotion, it's the times when you want to, sorry, there is someone asking something. Define lonely. Yes, when it is, it's not a feeling actually, but when you feel that you are left alone, that you can, even though you want, you cannot reach people. That's what loneliness is. But if you want to stay on your own, that doesn't mean loneliness. And majority of the time, introvert people are very happy when they are alone. Is that Clear? So these are your scores that's explained for you. Positive emotions, you know how to create them for yourself. If you like reading books, you go and read that and create that for yourself. Or if you want to go and talk to your friends, that's how you do it. Engagement is, there is a beautiful book called Flow. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. It's again one of the most important figures in positive psychology, Mihalski. He's written that book. How you feel about yourself when you are engaged in doing something. Relationships, you know what it means. Meaning is finding a meaning in whatever you are doing or having a purpose. Accomplishments is when you feel yourself finishing something. And if you are feeling good about that, that's also beautiful. But your scores told you which ones you are lacking or maybe need a little bit of work, and also the ones which is helping yourself, which is helping you with your own well-being. I don't know your scores, but in business life, we hear more of the words like burnout, depression, substance abuse, pain, and etc. People seem to be more in languishing than flourishing state. However, through the work of Seligman, we know that if we are talking about well-being, it's not about not feeling okay and not just feeling okay, but also being in a flourishing state. And there is also something that I need to make sure that it's got nothing to do with mental health. You can have mental health problems, but you can still be flourishing. That your these 5 components, they are working beautifully for you. That's possible. And when I was doing my businesses, I've been doing businesses, starting businesses since I was 23. And I have done many businesses. I was just looking at the end product and didn't see what's going on around me. I was just working like hell. And then at one stage, I decided that I made lots of money, and I looked and wanted to see what I could do that is going to make me happy. So I started, I came to the United States and started studying again when I was 38. And even though I studied business before, I studied psychology in the States. And then I did my MA in psychology. Now I'm finishing my PhD in clinical psychology. And even though I am a psychologist, it didn't help me. I didn't see what I was going through, how I was doing things. Even though I really enjoyed studying psychology, I was still looking at the target, finishing the school. And as I was not prepared to work in bad conditions in the United States, I said, I can't do it. So I have to start another business. So I started another business in the States so I can make money. So I had to work again more than necessary, and I couldn't enjoy myself. Anyway, when I went back, I finished my MA and came back to Turkey. And then I said, all my misery is because I'm working like for this capitalist system. So I said, I have to do something socially, that I need to do something for the women, because I knew that in my country, we were suppressed as women very much. So I asked my girlfriends, shall we do something for the women? And we said, yes, we all were in around maybe between 40 to 45. And we came together, 6 girlfriends, and started our social enterprise, which is opening fitness clubs for women only, and franchising only to women, employing only women, and the clubs were only for women. But we didn't create them as only gyms, but we created them as social clubs, so where they can come, do exercise, and also socialize, do activities in and out of the gym, like going to theaters together or listening to seminars and etc. So sorry, there are some. Is it the journey or the goal? Always a good reminder. Yes, still wrestle with this. Yes, same here. You never feel bad about yourself when you do go for others. That's true, but that's again, I'm going to talk about that. How you do it is very important. And so I started working like hell again, and we started opening franchises, giving out franchises. And at one stage, it was maybe 10 years after that, I felt so trapped because there it was growing like hell. And I was working like as if it was a normal for profit business. And I was not making much money because the economics of the social business was very limited. And as we were not making that much money, we had to compensate with our efforts. And I was numb majority of the time. And I was unhappy. I was making people unhappy. I was feeling resentful. I was resentful of the people that I work with because I was the owner of the company and I was giving them their salaries, but me, I was not making much money, so it was hard for me to live. And I was angry with the franchisees because even though I was pushing them and doing many things for them, they were not working as much as I wished them to be. So I was a total wreck. I was dissociative. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel myself. And then I met the Wellbeing Project. In the meantime, I was chosen as a Ashoka Fellow, Schwab Foundation Fellow, Endeavor Fellow. Like we were all over. People were looking up to it, but in the behind, I was as if I was in a theater. And through the Wellbeing Project, I stopped, totally stopped. They took us to locations which were beautiful, and we did inner work with some teachers. And then I was able to stop and look at myself. What was I doing? Through the Wellbeing Project, I figured out that I'm really terrible at management. I hated management. I was a player that's good for strategy, but when it comes to management, I made myself and others, my colleagues, miserable because I hated managing myself. So after that, I stopped being a manager in my own company. We started hiring general managers and coordinators and so on. So I stayed at the back, and my sister involved more. And I had ways of doing business, which was actually not good for the business. It was actually not good for the business, but bad for the business because I was not good with collaboration because I'm myself an introvert and I like to do things on my own. So when I was with these kind of lots of people, I was really feeling high anxiety majority of the time, which I didn't realize. So as I let it go, then different projects started coming into the company. And the company started changing and growing and becoming something else. and it felt freer itself, because each business, I believe, is also an organism itself. But I was keeping it so tightly that it didn't have any place to go other than my wishes, which was really terrible for the business. So through this inner well-being program, 18 months, every 6 months, we met in beautiful places with my other social enterprise entrepreneur friends, and we looked into each other. We talked a lot, we shared a lot, and within these 6 months of meeting, every month we had meetings with teachers, with each other again. We did lots of meditation, we did lots of sensing, letting go, looking at each other and in ourselves, and we changed, and our businesses changed. So what is the big project? Is co-created with Ashoka, the Esalen Institute, Impact Hub, Portugus, the Skoll Foundation, and Synargos. We are catalyzing a culture of inner well-being for all change makers. I am very proudly can say we, because now I'm helping them on the side as well whenever they need help. Because the project helped me so much that I mean, I can't do enough, because I now know that it is going to start with us. That's if we want any change. It's not going to happen if we try to change others. Unless we change ourselves, nothing is going to change. And I am not a complete product or anything. I'm a work in progress. I mean, well-being is not something that you just do and finish. It's a continuing continuing way of being. Through the Wellbeing Project, we demonstrate new ways of addressing inner well-being. We do groundbreaking research, and we convene key global and regional organizations to learn about this issue and work together to shift how they support their own communities. And our work shows that when social change makers engage in deep inner work, which like the one that I did, the results are extraordinary, healthier and more balanced lives, more sustainable organizations, richer innovation, and much greater orientation to collaboration and movement building. If we are talking about system change, it starts with ourselves. It starts with our own well-being. It starts with our own inner work. And we are shifting the sector of change makers. Our work is shifting the culture of the field by giving credibility to the link between inner well-being and outer well-doing, supporting key organizations. And how we do is we do model programs. Maybe you can see it better like this. We offer programs, sorry, maybe like this. We offer programs for learning, how an inner work development journey supports the individual and their work, and for exploring well-being at organization levels as well. Because now we started working with the organizations, we do lots of research and evaluation, because unless there is research, there is really no story that we need to tell, which is based on science, and science is most important. And also learning and convening and enabling is going on. And so far we've been collaborating with more than 200 organizations that are supporting the social change in the world. And at the end, at the junction of it, it's about storytelling and connecting people and organizations and learning together. And if I'm going to give you the link to the project. Oops. Yep. This is the link to the project if you want to see what there is. because there are lots of resources that you can use there for yourself and for your organizations. And before I let you go, though, sorry, there's something in chat. Yes. Secret for leaders is to discover and delegate the things you are not good at. Yes. Exactly that. Yeah. I struggled a lot. I want to work on another scale with you, which is how mindful you are about your inner self. Through this, you can find out about that. And when I first did that I think in a meeting, I was amazed. I was thinking that I was somebody who was so mindful of everything, who was so much aware of anything going on. Yes, of course, I was very much aware of what's going on, but out of me, not in me. Then I figured out that it doesn't work like that. I was able to say or tell people what to do, but I was not aware of how I was affecting others. So if you want to join me in this, I'll make it bigger for you. You are just going to choose between 1 to 6. Answer according to what really reflects your experience rather than what you think your experience should be. Okay, can you see? I think you do. And the next page is very little here. When you are finished, you are going to add your score and divide it by 15. Let me see. Are you done here? And here as well, I guess. So if you are finished, if you added your scores and divide by 15, average scores for undergraduate students in the research were 3.85. However, Zen mediators scored an average of 4.38. When people are more aware of their internal experience, their motivation, and their personal ability to show up exactly as they want, it will create ripples in the humans around them. So I'm wishing good luck to all of you. And maybe if you have questions, I'm here for you to answer them as much as I can. Wow, Charlie, it's beautiful. 5 point is great.
I enjoyed the question about snacking because I pay very particular attention to make sure that I savor the flavor of everything I snack on. Okay.
Excellent.
So my question is, looking back at your business in terms of fitness and social centers for women,
Yes,
were you able to apply what you learned in the Wellness Project back into that business?
I did. Yes, I did. For example, when we had our meetings throughout pandemic, we couldn't go to the office, but we have had daily meetings, weekly meetings, and we started looking at our own feelings, our bodies, what we were feeling, and it was something very new. So it was one of the things. And then we changed the hour, even the hours that we work. Yeah. So before, as I was like a tyrant, I was like chasing like hell, and people were going with me. And then uh, when I let go, new things started to come in. New ways of doing things started to come in. People became more calmer to begin with.
The reason I ask that question is so many times in business, people aren't willing to share their personal feelings or
Yeah.
how well they're feeling personally,
Yes.
because they think it's a sign of weakness.
Yes. I understand you totally, but it doesn't come immediately. But it takes a while. However, it happens when you start to feel okay with each other and see that nothing happens. Then slowly and slowly, all the discussions change, but it's not immediately. Yes,
Uh,
does the project have evidence on how organizations can benefit from individuals who have been through the Wellbeing Project process? Yes, we especially created a model for that, and we've been trying it. It's an exploratory project, and we started to have the results of the research of that. And if you go to the website, you will be able to read about the researchers as well. Have you seen any significant gender differences? No, not with the project, because we've been doing lots of research and we don't see any gender differences. At work, though, we are mostly women, so I cannot know much. But with the project, with the project's research, no difference.
Hey, Bedriye.
Yes.
If you don't mind, so I'll actually ask if we can jump into breakout rooms. I'll set them up for about 5 minutes, but I think
Okay.
it'd be really great for people to share
Yeah.
their if they feel so inclined, but also just to discuss, how their well-being is in any
Yes, that would be great.
taking these surveys. So with that, I will do breakouts very quickly here. Good.
Are you going to bring us back afterwards?
Yes, I'll bring everyone back.
Excellent.